Hi there and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name's DK Jade and I hope you enjoy your stay. Today I'm going to be making a tier list on which faction I believe would be the best to work for and the worst to work for in the Arkham series. Now if you don't know what a faction is, basically in this context, it's a group of people led by a specific person, to put it simply. For example, Joker and his henchmen, Two-Face and his henchmen, etc. Just people who work for a certain villain within the Arkham games. Now just a heads up, I'm factoring in a few things on my decisions. I'm not just gonna go for who's the strongest, so keep that in mind. Alright, so I've broken up the tier list into 6 categories. Low-key goated means I think it would be the most ideal. I'm chillin' means that it's not the best, but it's pretty good. Not quite S tier, but still good. I mean, I guess essentially means mid. I'd be paranoid just means that I would do it, but I'd be watching my back. Last resort means, well, what the tier says. And just in case it's not clear enough, I'd rather die to Protocol 10 means I'd rather die to Protocol 10. Okay, now that has been all established, let's get into it. Let's start with Two-Face. I feel like he's a decent leader in terms of the death rate of his henchmen. He's not completely careless about his men. I don't recall him relentlessly letting his guys die. But obviously you can piss him off at times, and I think that if you catch him on a bad day, he might get to flipping that coin. I remember when doing a bank robbing side mission in Arkham Knight, Two-Face would use the word "we" quite a bit when talking to his henchmen and giving them little pep talks. That language kind of feels inclusive. It makes it feel more like they were in it together rather than it just being his own prerogative. So with that being said, I'm gonna put him in the I guess category, just because if you get to a point with him where he starts flipping that coin to decide on whether or not he's gonna kill you, you have a 50% chance of dying. Alright, next up, Penguin. Now I don't know about Mr. Cobblepot here. I feel like he's way too hot-headed and impatient to work for. He doesn't let almost anything slide, so if you mess up, you're over. Even if it's something small, I feel like he will use that umbrella to pop your head. He also doesn't really care about his henchmen, like, at all. Literally just thinking about joining his team, I think about that part in Arkham City where Batman leaves the GCPD building and Penguin blows up the bridges and his men were like in a panic and expressing their distress to Cobblepot, and he was just kind of like, so? Just take a look at this clip.
See, I told you it'd work. Blow the bridges, cut off the Cloud's forces. Easy. But Mr. Cobblepot, we're stuck too. So, we can't get back. And your point is? Well, it's just, you've left us over here with the Joker's crew. Try and take some of them down before you die, son. You bastard.
Penguin just seems to threaten his men a little too much for my liking, so I'm putting him in I'd be paranoid. But someone that is a little bit more likable to me would be Bane. I feel like Bane is one of the better options for someone to work for. He's actually pretty smart despite how he's portrayed in the Arkham trilogy. I mean, he literally found out Batman's true identity. So because he has the smarts, it gives a little bit more security in terms of the plans he may have. I feel like they'll make more sense and have some more structure. Also, in Arkham Origins, you can hear Bane's men talk highly of him, so it seems like his henchmen like working for him. Not to mention, Bane is huge and extremely strong, so I'm sure there's like an extra sense of protection for his guys. So because of that, I'm gonna put Bane in low-key goated. Next up, we have Mr. Freeze. Would Mr. Freeze be a good option? Low-key, I think so. Freeze honestly didn't do anything unfair or out of pocket to any of his henchmen in the Cold Heart DLC in Origins. At least not that we could see. But also, he just wants to help his wife. Freeze just cares about curing Nora, and that's it really. The only downside to this is he would do anything for her, so if a situation came up where he had to sacrifice his guys in order to help or save Nora, that would kind of suck. But that reasoning kind of cancels out because you could say the same thing for any villain, I guess. It's not much different, so I'm gonna put Freeze in I'm chillin' category. Haha, get it? Chillin'? Anyways, next we're gonna talk about Anarchy. Right off the bat, I'm gonna say that Anarchy is one of the best options. I think he would be great to work for. His beliefs are very understandable and his actions are justifiable. I mean, fighting against the corruption of Gotham is very valid, don't you think? I think honestly, me and him would vibe, not gonna lie. I feel like we would chop it up and just be chill. I also think that anyone else who works for him most likely has the same beliefs or ideals as him, so I think we would thrive in that setting with like-minded people. There's nothing malicious about Anarchy, resulting in me putting him in the low-key goated category. I just think he makes a good leader. Now let's kiki about the League of Assassins, shall we? This is another faction that I believe I would thrive in. The League of Assassins are essentially an all-women league, and I really like that. It adds a sense of sisterhood for me. The League's values are also similar to what mine would be if I was living in Gotham. I also just think they're cool as fuck. Everything from their energy down to their outfits. If the League's gonna do one thing, it's serve. They're always serving cunt, and I'm here for it. Plus, Nissa and Talia are hot. They're also very structured and organized, which is important for a group. All of them are super well trained, so if I joined, I would become a trained assassin rather than just a goon with an AR in my hand. On top of all of that, you get a katana. Tell me that isn't cool. Tell me. So yeah, I'm gonna have to put the League of Assassins in the low-key goated category. They would definitely be my first choice if I had to join a faction. Why don't we discuss Mad Hatter a little bit? Being a part of Mad Hatter's group would probably suck, not gonna lie. And all of the times we encountered Jervis in the Arkham games, his henchmen seem hypnotized or drugged in some way and fighting and following orders mindlessly. It just seems like it would suck to be in that constant state when it comes to altercations with Batman. He also randomly just kills off his men at times for no reason. He's annoying too. Like, as cool as Mad Hatter is in terms of like a concept of a villain, I would just get so annoyed at every sentence he says. He talks like he's reading out of a Dr. Seuss book.
Bippity boppity boo. All my words shall not be misconstrued. If you show me yours, I'll show you mine too.
I would rather die to Protocol 10 than work for this guy. Sorry, not sorry. Ah yes, next up, my queen, my diva, my girlfriend, Miss Harleen Quinzel. After Joker dies in Arkham City, if you play Harley Quinn's Revenge DLC, we see her leading her own men for the first time, and it honestly doesn't seem too bad. Even in Arkham Knight, Harley seems to be pretty chill to work for. She kind of lets a lot of things slide in terms of accidents, things the guys say, and failing their missions. I mean, in Arkham City, one of her men literally tried making a move on her right after Joker had died, and she was just so chill about it. She's honestly better than me. Harley seems to only harm her guys when they do some pretty fucked up shit. I also think that because I'm a girl, I would probably get a little bit of special treatment from her since I'd most likely be one of the only, if not the only woman on her team. I feel like we would bond over the fact that we would be in a predominantly male-centered field together as women, and we would form some sort of sisterhood together. She's also very hot. I mean, what? Who said that? But yeah, I'm gonna put Harley in low-key goated. She's just that girl. Next in line is the militia. In my opinion, I think that the militia is an ideal faction to work for. Jason Todd seems to have a lot of respect for his men and provides them with a lot of knowledge, especially when it comes to ways to counter Batman. The Arkham Knight doesn't ever really kill any of his men just because, so I think I would have a high survival rate. Also, the militia are very high trained groups as well. Additionally, the militia always talk about how Jason took them in when they hit rock bottom and how he made their lives better.
Scarecrow's just the client, okay? This is only a job. We stick with the Knight. If he keeps the militia together, we will. He will. I'm sure of it. Army treated us like used toilet paper, but the Knight, he understands guys like us, looks out for us. Doesn't show us his face. It doesn't matter. I still remember when he found me. I was in a bad place, okay? Headed for a worse one. And he reached out. Said he knew what it meant to be betrayed.
Also, if you work with the drones, you aren't even really actually inside of them. You're just virtually controlling them, so there's no risk of being injured or killed. With that said, the militia are going in low-key goated. Riddle me this. What's tall and skinny and probably stinky? That's right, the Riddler! All his henchmen do is skip around holding hands and setting up Riddler's trophies and contraptions. It's really not that much. I mean, they hardly ever fight anyone and kinda just keep to themselves. Although it sounds pretty chill and laid back, I think I would get kind of bored of just hiding trophies around, especially because we don't see very many interactions between Riddler and his guys. So it's not like you're personally connected to him and feel as strongly for his cause as others would for their leader. Not to mention, his motivation for what he does to Batman doesn't seem very compelling as an outsider. He just wants to prove that he's better and smarter than him, which I think not many people, including me, would care for. I would just get annoyed very quickly by his arrogance and cocky demeanor, so I'm putting him in I'm chillin'. It's easy work, but not fun enough. I want to dabble a little into Poison Ivy, and by a little, I mean very little. I think Poison Ivy would not be the best candidate when choosing a villain to work for. I mean, we don't really get to see a whole lot of her henchmen, but when we do see them in Arkham City, they are just under a spell essentially. They're almost like zombies. They also look like they're stinky. I just thought I would add her in here because she's too iconic to leave out, and she did technically have henchmen at some points. I love you, Ivy, but you're going in the last resort category. Up next is Black Mask. Now, I know Sionis is never gonna send me my check late. He is always gonna be putting money in my pocket on time, that's for sure. That dude is stacked. Black Mask is organized, strong, and he seems to be very well respected by his henchmen. Since he is one of the competitors of the mob bosses, there have been many times where Penguin's men have vocalized wanting to switch over to Black Mask's crew. To me, that just shows that he's one of the better leaders out there in Gotham. It also seems like his guys are pretty loyal to him, which is another sign of good leadership. Even after Joker kidnapped him and kinda made him look weak, his men stood by him. So in my mind, that must mean they have some sort of personal relationship with him. I'm gonna put Black Mask in I'm chillin'. I think that's appropriate. Let's discuss Professor Pig. Becoming a Dollatron has to be one of the worst things that could ever possibly happen to a human being. I mean, you're in a constant state of fear and unable to have any sort of control over what you do or what you say, even what you feel. If you look at the Dolatrons using detective mode, you can see that they're terrified. They are lobotomized organic-like robots and can't feel anything. But in the sense of how Professor Pig operates, I guess you don't really have a choice to join his faction. He more so chooses you. But let's just say I do have a choice for the sake of this video. I'm gonna have to pass on joining Valentine. I would rather die to Protocol 10 than become a mindless pawn. Now, Waylon Jones, aka Killer Croc. I don't care if you guys don't count Croc, I'm counting him because in his DLC in Arkham Knight, his fellow prisoners kind of were like his followers. They literally fight alongside Croc when Batman and Nightwing infiltrate the prison. Croc is a little snappy at times, but something I noticed that he does while fighting Batman and Nightwing is that he picks his guys up off the ground to encourage them to get back in the fight. I don't care if Albert King did the same thing, okay? This is different. But I would be lying if I said I wouldn't be a little scared that he would eat me at times. What if he's feeling a little snacky and there's no beef jerky around? I feel bad for Croc and what happened to him, but I would be a little paranoid if I joined his team. Next in queue is Tiger. I don't know if this is controversial or not, but I think Tiger sucks. Yes, they're an organized group, but they are incredibly corrupt and try to come off as if they aren't. Let's not forget the fact that Hugo Strange has also tortured some of his men. Furthermore, I hate their attitudes. The Tiger Guards are just very arrogant and disrespectful to people, including to some who don't even deserve it, such as political prisoners. But regardless, I'm gonna put them in the I guess category, only because they don't seem to have a high death rate. I don't recall very many instances where Hugo Strange randomly just killed one of them for shits and giggles. Speaking of people who kill their henchmen for shits and giggles, let's talk about Joker next. I know, the villain you've all been waiting for. Joker is definitely one of the worst villains you could work for without a doubt. But is he really that bad if he's funny? For every day that you're alive, you gotta take a moment of silence because you never know if it's your last. Joker literally just kills off his guys just for the fun of it. He gets joy out of it. You could literally do everything that he asked for perfectly and he would still kill you. People who join the Joker are almost as insane as he is, in my opinion. I mean, if you take a listen to some dialogue from Arkham Asylum, you can hear one of Joker's thugs say that he killed his own sister just because Joker told him to.
Joker told me to kill my sister once.
Did you do it?
Hell yeah! Never liked her anyway.
You're cold, man. Funny thing, he said the same to me. I told him I didn't even have a sister. He just kept telling me to do it. So I got in my car, ran over the first bitch I saw. Joker seemed happy.
Ha!
But it's said that Joker pays really well, so it's a little bit of Russian roulette. I kind of think it would be just a little bit fun working for him sometimes. He's kind of like a morale booster if you think about it. He manages to keep some dark moments lighthearted somehow. And I think if you're living in a condition where a lot of bad things are happening, you need that, especially in Gotham. I think that working for Joker would be like sleeping on a bed of needles. It's possible, but very risky and scary. Considering all things I said earlier, I'm gonna put Joker in I'd Be Paranoid. It's scary, but in a time of need, it's doable. Sometimes. Alright, so those are what factions I think would be the best to work for in the Arkham games. I might have missed some key points when talking about some of my opinions because there's simply so many details in the game that, believe it or not, have slipped my mind. This is also my first time making a video like this, so if you liked it, please let me know if you'd like to see more videos like this from me. I would also love to hear your opinions as well, so feel free to comment your thoughts. And of course, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.